Howdy, everybody. This is Clay.
I'm Lloyd. Good morning.
This is Iron Sharpening Iron with the Kaler Boys. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of
Tomorrow
March.
is my bride's birthday.
Tomorrow is Granny B's birthday.
Granny B. Today we're going to eat.
That's right, Mexican.
She don't know nothing about it either.
No, of course not.
And by the time this goes on, she'll already have eaten.
That's right.
By the time she has even a chance to watch it, she'll already know about it.
First things first. I've heard from a number of you all that we did not have a podcast uploaded last week, and that is definitely true. We did not, due to circumstances that were somewhat within and somewhat without our control. We were unable to get one loaded up, but we're doing it today. And again, as you can tell, today's Tuesday, not Thursday. What's going on? Why are y'all doing it on Tuesday, not on Thursday? Well, because work is going to require me to be elsewhere on Thursday, and we didn't want to let you guys down 2 weeks in a row. So
right.
Here we are.
There we are. If you get in the habit of doing something a certain amount of times, it becomes, or if you do something, it becomes a habit.
Yeah. And this is definitely habitual.
Yeah. So I want to continue this.
I would go even further to say not just habitual, but addictive.
Right. Yeah.
I think we're addicted to this. I want to jump right into the scripture of the day, and then that way, and then
let's go.
Free for all.
Let's go.
Now, before I do, two things I want to talk about. Dadgummit. One of them will wait till after the scripture of the day, but one of them leads up to the scripture of the day. I had such a privilege last night, such an honor last night. There is a men's group, Christian men's group, that meets once a month here in Burke Burnett. And they meet for dinner, and they meet at the Meals on Wheels building. And I was invited last night to bring a message.
Well,
and so I got there. There's about 55, 60 men, all the way from 10 years old to 100 years old. They ate spaghetti and salad, and I watched them eat it. Because neither one of those are on my diet.
They didn't have no meatballs on the side?
No, they didn't.
That's a shame.
And that's all right. I came home and ate real good. And
I don't doubt you did.
And I got a chance. I preached a message there, and it was really good. Not my message so much as the whole thing. It was just a neat opportunity,
right,
to see all of these different men, many of whom I didn't know. Men, many of whom I didn't know, and it was just really neat. And there was a good friend of mine that was there. He pastors a little tiny church on Wagner Ranch.
Oh,
and he's a real good guy. His name's John Paul Welch, and John Paul, I found out later on, is the one who suggested me to the organizer of this place.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So really neat. So what I did is, it's a men's group talking about masculinity, talking about men's issues. And I thought, what better place to come out of than Paul's letters to Timothy?
There you go.
Paul, the elder, is mentoring Timothy, the younger, in manhood and in ministry. And here's the passage I came out of. And I'm not going to go deep into it, but here we go. You therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus. And the things you've heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. You therefore, listen to this, you therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one engaged in warfare entangles himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. And also, if anyone competes in athletics, he's not crowned unless he competes according to the rules. And the hardworking farmer must be the first to partake of his crops. Consider what I say. May the Lord give you understanding in all things. Isn't that a great passage?
That's a great passage.
And when I teach this, I'm just going to break out one little spot on here. When I teach this, no one engaged in warfare entangles himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. And when Christmas Day, 1990, I was in the gunner's pit of a Humvee about 2:30 in the morning, behind a Maudus, 50 cal, full auto, you voice. Yeah.
I get the juices pumping.
Yeah. And we were doing a patrol outside of the wire of Hafr al-Batin, which is on the northern border of Saudi Arabia, southern border of Iraq. And Christmas Day, man, the day that we're supposed to be celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, someone starts shooting at me. And I return the favor. And, as they're shooting at me and I'm shooting back at them, first time I've ever been engaged in a firefight in my entire life, not one time did it cross my mind, I wonder if my truck got paid today. No one engaged in warfare entangles himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as soldier. It's an old saying in the Army. I'm sure you've heard it. Distracted soldier is a dead soldier.
Yes.
And, that just makes
that's
so
why
much
they're
sense.
so hard. They really get in basic training.
Oh, yeah.
First thing they tell you is about your girlfriend leaving you, and done picked up with your buddy.
Your buddy ain't no need in looking home. Yeah. Jody's got your girl and gone.
Yeah, yeah. Your buddy watched you drive out of town, and as he drive out of town, he was dialing that girl's number.
Ain't no need in looking back. Jody's got your Cadillac.
Yeah.
I've always said if I ever meet a dude named Jody, I'm just punching him in the face for general purposes. Oh, man. So the other thing I want to talk about, over the last 2 weeks, our Aunt Stell was here.
Yes.
Visiting from Baltimore. I've always said she's my favorite Baltimorean. God, I love that woman. I had a chance to thank her for something that I've never, I don't remember that I've ever thanked her for. 1996, our dad passed away.
Yes.
And
rough year.
Yeah, it was. It was. I was in Tallahassee, Florida, when I was working with the Marshal Service. I was in Tallahassee, Florida, setting up a what's called a CERT team, Correctional Emergency Response Team in a prison. It was after I got shot, so I was on light duty, and so I was in Florida setting up this CERT team in this federal prison, and I got the call middle of the night, and of course I immediately left Florida and came home, and we had family and friends flying in for days, 2 or 3 days in a row.
Yeah, it was.
And out of all of us, I don't know why, but I guess I was the best equipped. I was the one in Mom's Dustbuster minivan running back and forth doing shuttles to Oklahoma City and back.
I remember that minivan.
And, I sometimes 2 or 3 in a day. I would drive up there, get somebody, bring them back, go back up, get somebody, bring them back. And Aunt Stell looked over at me when I was sitting down for a little while before I had to go back to Oklahoma City, and she saw how exhausted I was. And I got up, grabbed the keys, and I went out to the minivan. Next thing I know, she's getting in the passenger seat. I said, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm going with you." And she ran every single one of those routes, taking people to and bringing people from the airport with me after that. She rode with me every time I went.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oklahoma City's 2 hours from here.
Yeah, on a good trip.
On a good trip, and she rode every single one of those trips with me.
Yeah, it's a wonder.
Isn't that something?
It's a wonder. Neither one of y'all got hip problems because that many trips down them roads. Yeah. And y'all know anything about Oklahoma roads?
I'm telling you.
Been paying tolls on them bad boys for years, watching them get worse. But watching them get worse.
That's always meant something to me.
Oh yeah,
that is just I mean, who would do that? Who would do that?
Our family.
Yeah,
our family.
Yeah, I had a chance while they were here. I took her and Mom down to Waco to Magnolia, which is that I can't think of it. Joanna and Chip Gaines, the fix 'em up people, the house people. They've got a
flipping houses.
Yeah, they've got a whole little compound down there, and it's stores and whatnot, and garden and all that. And Aunt Stell has been dying to go visit that. So I loaded them both up in the truck, and we drove 3.5 hours down there. We were down there about a half an hour, and they both said, "Okay, I'm ready to go home." We drove back, and we had a grand time. It was a good time. We laughed and reminisced,
and you didn't wear them plumb out.
No. Went down the highway because I didn't know how long we were going to be there, and I didn't want us to be limited. But then on the way back, we came back through Jacksboro, like you suggested. Man, it was
a nice trip.
Good drive.
All right. It is. A lot of little small towns.
Yeah.
You don't never really get up to no 75-mile-an-hour speed.
Right.
Slowing down in between towns. there's a lot of little interesting things.
It is.
Especially if you got a minute or two,
right,
that you can take time to
well,
look at.
and it comes right through Mineral Wells, which is a neat little town.
Yeah.
And you got the hotel there and everything, and we stopped and ate barbecue and had a good time, just a real good time. So anyway, I'm just thrilled to death that she was here for 2 weeks and we got to spend some time together. And speaking of Baltimore, there was some news that came out of Baltimore this morning.
Yes. What was cargo?
Indonesian cargo ship.
Cargo ship. Yeah. Hit the Key Bridge.
Yeah, the Francis Scott
Key Bridge.
Yep, sure enough.
And man, it just almost
see
didn't
a video?
look. I saw the video. It just almost didn't look real.
No.
I built bridges for a while.
Yeah, you did.
And that's a massive construction undertaking.
Right.
You're working with giant things.
And you built overpasses. We're talking about a bridge that spans a body of water.
Yeah. I never built nothing that big, but I built some fair-sized bridges in Austin.
Oh yeah.
Some that were a little more than overpasses.
Right.
Some that spanned some water. We crossed several what you'd call deep gullies with a small creek.
Yeah.
And I mean very deep. 60-foot deep.
Right.
But just massive amounts of material, concrete and steel.
Right.
And the way that ship just like touched it.
Yeah.
And down.
Yeah, on the video, it just looks like a little bump. But like you brought up when we were talking off camera, the amount of mass,
the energy that thing carries.
Well, you look at it, and there's hundreds of containers on there. There's Amazon packages for everyone.
Yeah. Just the sheer
weight. By the way,
if
your Amazon package doesn't show up today, that may be why.
The sheer weight of just steel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If all those cargo containers were empty, the sheer weight of steel, just the energy of all that weight moving, there's laws of physics there. It takes a lot to get her shut down.
Right.
And that bridge just as a stationary object didn't stand a chance.
I can't imagine that any of y'all watching this by the time we get it uploaded haven't seen that video. But if you haven't, go look at it. It's tremendous. And apparently that was one of the key support structures that ship struck. And what I saw just before you got here on the news, and they even showed it on the video, you can see as the ship is going and it's starting to turn, it loses power. The lights went out on the ship and it just drifted right into that bridge.
What a helpless feeling if you're the captain.
Goodness.
If all of a sudden it just shuts off.
Or you're the woman in a minivan on the bridge and you see that coming.
Yeah, they said it was a lot of they don't have no idea.
No, mass
casualties is what.
But I'll tell you what, one of the guys I was watching on news, man, every now and again you see something that just makes you smile. One of the guys on the news said, he literally said this. He said, "Thank God it happened in the middle of the night and not in rush hour traffic."
Yeah.
They have ruled out terrorism. There's no terrorism involved. It's strictly an accident, it appears. So, yeah, just tragic. Be in prayer for the families that lost loved ones and for those that survived and the first responders. Something else I was telling you about that I saw. There's a Navy SEAL that they were interviewing, and he was talking about just how dangerous this is for the first responder and the rescue divers.
Oh, well, we talked once again on camera.
Yeah.
You look how easier heavy things are moved, and everything that fell in that water came to rest. It sunk and it came to rest.
Nothing settled.
And the next tide or the next current change or anything that occurs, you just imagine underwater, things are going to be doing this, and it's going to move and settle. It'll be doing that for
still got
a while.
Falling debris.
Yeah.
You got chunks of asphalt and steel that are still falling.
It'll settle for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how long. I'm not a settling expert, but I know a while.
Right.
I know I've sunk plenty of Christmas trees to attract crappie.
That's right.
And you got to really sink them down in there, or they don't settle right and they'll fall over.
Right.
Because it takes a little while.
Yeah.
And that's in a lake. There's not currents.
Right.
There's not giant boat activity.
Right.
This is in little coves that are hidden away from the boat activity.
Yeah. Then something else they brought up on the news about this is, looking a little further out. That is a major thoroughfare. And now it's gone. And that's going to affect the economy of Baltimore.
I looked on the
surrounding
map.
area.
I looked on the map, and the commute from, you're crossing a pretty good sized body of water.
Yeah.
And you're from one peninsula to another one. And the commute, you can still get there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just got to go up to either the next bridge, which is quite a ways, and then go across and down, or you got to go plumb around.
Well, and you know how it is when they reroute traffic.
Well, I'm just going to say, everybody that crosses that bridge is now going to find those two alternative routes.
Right.
And they're going to be involved with now everybody else that drives already drives those routes.
Yeah.
For their jobs that are over here, it's got nothing to do with over here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cause an issue. Already which I don't buy into this. I really don't. But already, the conspiracy people are, they were doing that. It's a black flag operation, and and they're doing it to cut off routes.
Right.
And that was the reason. To be honest with you, that was the reason I did look at a map of it overhead.
Yeah.
And I don't know, strategically, I don't know where that would get to. I'm not Kim Sung the War.
Right.
I didn't write no books here. And but come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I know.
I mean,
here's the thing.
We got enough that's true.
That's what I was about to say. You beat me to it. There is enough going on in our world right now. You don't have to make stuff up.
No.
And
that's
let an accident be an accident unless it's proven otherwise.
Sure.
It's funny, yesterday when I was speaking at that men's event, I was talking about that part of that passage where Paul says you must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. And I looked at these 60 some odd men that were sitting there. And I said, y'all know it's coming. Y'all know it's coming, right? And I saw heads nodding.
Yeah.
And I said, you can see it on the horizon. You can feel it. It's coming. And these men were right there with me. Men I'd never met before.
Right.
Just total strangers. And they could sense it. It's coming.
It's the common sense of what's going around you. You look at, man, I got...
you got a list there, don't you?
I got a list. I
thought you said you don't write books.
I know, right? We talked already once before about these illegal migrants that the 350,000 they
flew in from Venezuela,
and they
but the correct me if I'm wrong, the one that Biden apologized to after he killed Lake and Riley, he was Venezuelan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's who we're bringing in.
And here recently,
emptying out their prisons.
Here recently, there's been people asking, where are these people in the Biden administration that chartered these flights out of Texas from a military base, has instructed the military not to divulge the destination of the people.
Isn't that amazing?
Or where they were from. Well, this came from a military personnel. I watched the video of this guy. And he said, I just can't no more. And that's what a lot of them are at.
Yeah.
What kind of position does that put our active duty in?
No doubt.
Me and you were active duty.
Yeah.
We held our hand up, put the hand on the Bible, we held it up, and we had that oath. And here these guys are, they know it's wrong.
Yeah. 100% they know it's wrong.
And
100%.
If you don't know it's wrong, well, first off, you're just stupid or naive.
Right.
But then when your superiors come to you and say, hey, if anybody asks about this, let's
lie about it.
Yeah, lie about it.
Yeah.
You got to know things are wrong.
Right.
Man.
Right.
If you came to me and said, hey, I didn't talk to you yesterday, I'd know there was something shady going on. I'd know I need to put my shady cap on. All right. Yeah. Well, let me see what I did yesterday that did not involve talking to Clay.
Right.
I would know right off the bat. Clay, there's so much.
Speaking of our military, Thursday, the video that came out of El Paso on Thursday of hundreds of migrants. Let's stop right there. Illegal freaking aliens.
Illegal migrants. Illegal people breaking the law.
They ripped down a fence, assaulted National Guard, burst past. I saw that video the first time and I screamed, why isn't anyone shooting?
It's an invasion. You're being attacked.
You're being attacked.
Overrun.
You've got an M16 strapped to the front of you. Why aren't you pulling the trigger, soldier?
I would venture to say that them soldiers are carrying empty guns.
Probably so. But you can certainly butt strike somebody with that empty gun.
Well, look right here out of El Paso, Texas.
You ever heard of muzzling?
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, that
hurts.
Yeah, it does. Bad.
You stab somebody in the chest with the muzzle of an M16, they know they've been stabbed. Go ahead.
All this out of El Paso, Texas, and everybody else along the border.
Yeah.
It continues to happen. And I know Abbott is doing everything he can.
Sure.
Now we've got sheriff's departments in Fort Worth saying we're not going to obey that law.
Yeah.
We're not going to abide by it.
Well, the sheriff,
whether it passes or not,
of El Paso.
Huh?
Apparently, the sheriff in El Paso.
Yeah, I think he's the same thing. We're not going to abide by that law. Are you? So now we get to choose.
Right.
Who is the we?
Well,
wait a minute. If we get to choose,
we've been choosing for a while.
Yeah, but how can we, me and you, how can we get on
can't.
Why not? Why not?
We can't, but states can apparently. It's how in the world. I've still never heard a good explanation for this. How can California and Oregon and Colorado and Oklahoma say that weed is legal when the federal government says it's not? There's something called the Supremacy Clause in the Constitution that says that a state cannot pass a law that's contradictory to a federal law.
True.
How are they doing it?
I don't know.
How'd they get away with sanctuary cities?
I don't know. How do they get away with this? How we passed a law saying why?
But
do you have to pass a law to say that
we're going to enforce the law?
Yeah. I don't get that at all.
Me either. And then
next time you get a ticket, you go, I'm not paying that. Do you have a law that enforces this law? If you don't, get me out.
That's right. You got these liberal, other than Oklahoma. I don't understand Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't make sense, as far as the legalization of weed. Where everywhere else that they're doing this is a liberal place. And then they've got the sanctuary cities. And then when Texas declares that we are a Second Amendment sanctuary state, people go, "Oh, you're just being ridiculous."
Yeah, right. That's just stupid.
Yeah,
we're a sanctuary state for the Constitution.
Yeah.
That we're losing so fast.
Oh,
so and all this is on purpose. Speaking of the Constitution,
100%, brother.
Our Second Amendment is under a tremendous amount of attack.
Yeah.
They want to use VA hospitals to deem certain veterans unable to own guns.
Yeah.
And I think
we've had this conversation. I personally dealt with this.
Right. And I think I know why, because the veterans are capable.
Yeah. Well, we're trained.
Right.
We've got training.
So let's get them out of the way.
We've been proven.
Every time in the entirety of history of the human race, 100% of the time, when a government or in charge entity disarms the people, right after
the
that,
next thing is tyranny.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's a takeover, and it's because now
Germany, 1930s.
Australia
in the 1990s.
Back in the biblical days in the Romans, you weren't a common folk couldn't carry swords.
Right.
You couldn't just tote around a sword.
Right.
Because you weren't good enough.
That's right.
And you might rise up.
That's
right. But we can't have that.
we
can carry swords.
You got rocks.
Yeah. and so since the beginning, they have you pull the weapons away, and now it makes.
Which is why the Second Amendment is a thing. Because our founding fathers understood that.
Yes. Well, Britain told us the same thing. They told us, or England said, give up your guns, and we shot them in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Repeatedly and with enthusiasm.
Yes. And then we said, no, we're not part of you no more.
Right.
And we're losing that. We're losing that so fast. But anyway, the same people that are after our guns and after constant gun control.
Oh my God.
Constant gun control.
This Obama federal judge.
Yeah, now has deemed that the illegal alien
have a right to carry guns.
Carry a gun.
Yeah. Veterans don't.
Not even just veterans.
Right.
Nobody should own an AR-15. That's for shooting lungs out. No, wait a minute. That's a 9mm.
Yeah, 9mm will take the lung out of your body. The AR-15 is as heavy as 10 boxes.
And it shoots
a 50 caliber.
And it shoots any round, or it shoots a round 5 times faster than any other round on the planet.
That's right.
And if you hit a deer with it, it explodes.
It explodes.
The whole
just
deer.
Rains meat.
Which
means you don't even have to grind it.
You know, me and you've had this discussion a gazillion times. And if it wasn't for the fact that you are proficient,
right,
then I would argue with you till I'd be the hill I died on.
Yeah.
A 223 is not good enough to hunt deer with.
Right.
It's just not.
Well,
as a good rule.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that as a good rule, most people that go hunting,
yeah,
they take their whatever firearm, they take it out,
maybe go to the range.
You know, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
You've got a buddy.
I'm going to give them
one of your best friends.
I'm going to give them the benefit.
I ain't going to call him out by name, but one of your best friends.
But look here, maybe go to the range 2 weeks before the season and fire 3 or 4 rounds, maybe 5.
Yeah.
If the scope's off a little, or if they pull that first one.
Right.
And then it goes back in their little case.
Yep.
And then they go deer hunting.
Yep.
And then it goes back most of the hunters shoot one deer.
Yeah.
They're horn hunting. If they're successful,
right,
they shoot one deer. And then it goes back in the closet for an entire year. And it starts back over 2 weeks before gun season. And
you got a buddy.
There's no time.
If you didn't push him, wouldn't even go out to the range. He'd just grab it out of the closet and hit the woods.
And I don't know how you have confidence in it.
No.
I can't.
No.
I don't think that any of the guns that I lost in that boating accident. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. You want Kleenex?
I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. I said I wasn't going to cry, and here it is.
You're beklimped.
Any of the guns I lost in that boating accident, I would venture to say that I could pick them up and they would be on. They would be on.
Yeah.
But I would never take one of them to the woods and go on a hunt to ethically harvest an animal to feed my family.
Without putting it on paper first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have got to go and put it on paper. Yeah. And it has to stack when I put it on paper.
Oh, yeah.
I can't just hit the board.
No.
I need to put it where I was aiming.
Yeah. And
precisely where I was aiming.
I'm going to kind of tell on you here. My brother, when he goes out to double check his scopes, what he does, he takes a paper plate, 10-inch paper plate, and he staples it to the board out 100 yards and 250 yards, and then sometimes you shoot out that 360-yard line.
Sometimes.
And he's got a quarter-size orange dot sticker on it.
Yeah, them little cover stickers. Yeah, well, you get them for free at the range.
Yeah. Sure enough. And so
it's like harvesting.
At 100 yards, 250 yards, 360 yards, he's shooting at a quarter-size sticker in the middle of the paper plate, and he's stacking rounds on it. And once he can stack rounds in that 3/4-inch circle,
you're good.
You're good.
Good.
That's the size of a deer's eyeball.
That's right.
Yeah. Or ear hole.
So depending on where the deer or how the deer is standing.
That's right.
Eyeball or ear hole.
And I agree with you, going back to your premise, I agree with you that under normal circumstances, 223, 5.56 is not the best round for taking a deer.
It is capable.
Very capable.
But a 22 caliber in the right person's hand is extremely capable.
I've killed deer with a 22 Magnum.
Well, you remember that old man?
Statute of limitations has passed.
You remember that old man down in Breckenridge?
Yeah.
That's all he used.
Yeah, 22 Magnum.
22 Magnum, single shot.
Mm-hmm.
Break. I don't even know what kind of gun that was, but it was a breakover, like an old, old breakover shotgun.
Yep.
22 Magnum, single shot with a bead sight.
Yep.
And he shot him in the eye hole or the ear hole.
Took him down.
Well, you're not going anywhere.
Right there, yeah.
You rattle the brain with that.
Now, I haven't in a long time hunted with a 223. I used to all the time.
Right. And I remember you used to. And you never lost an animal with it.
No, never. Not one time.
But you proficient. There's a difference.
And not only that, but I gave myself every advantage. I didn't hunt with, full metal jacket. I bought the hollow points. Paid a little extra for them. But, generally speaking, when we're hunting, I'm carrying that 25-06.
Right.
I got that 25-06. Well, 25-06 is a 25 caliber bullet, but it's got the same casing powder of a 30-06.
Yes,
so
it is a screamer.
We are talking about a fast, hard-hitting little bullet.
Yeah, it's a screamer. And honestly, it's not tremendously bigger than the 223.
No, it's not. You're talking about 22 caliber versus 25 caliber.
Weight difference, you get into a little more weight, and then you carry a lot more energy.
Yeah, well, and then, you look at the
just like that boat.
Yeah.
Heavy, a lot more energy.
Duty ammo in a 5.56, you're talking 77 grain.
Yeah.
That's a small bullet.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing about the 5.56 and how it's designed is that small bullet hits a fleshy target and just starts doing somersaults inside.
Right. Yeah,
turns into a bandsaw inside, man. That's just bad stuff right there. You know? Yeah, that's why it's so effective on the battlefield.
Right.
You know? I don't know how we got on this conversation.
I know, right?
Good one, though. I enjoy it. Ballistics, y'all.
Ballistics. Well, we got on there talking about them immigrants trying to get guns. It's just,
and
then our wonderful government thinks that they know everything about guns. And dude, this is
federal judge.
I'm watching, and you are too. Just like you talked to that men's group.
It's coming.
It's coming. We're watching a takeover.
Yeah.
This I'm going to butcher his name. Islam Muhammad won his race in Ohio's 3rd district.
Oh, that's scary.
I said this was wrote last night. I wrote this a couple of days.
This ain't even good.
Beating out the Abu Dhabi Denny. I don't even know who he was. He campaigned entirely in Somali instead of English.
Yep.
His speech, his winning speech or victory speech, his lap there was all Somali. You would have thought I saw a video of it.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't understand nothing he's saying. He's
speaking another language
in Ohio. I want to get this right. He said to his entire campaign was to represent the interest of Somali.
Yeah. Well,
and the Somali people.
Omar, whatever her name is, married her brother.
Yeah.
She said the same thing.
Right, and he's all in cahoots with her too. But that's right here. I mean,
yeah.
I'm all about this migration under legal means, and there's a lot of immigrants that have come over and they have made a tremendous impact in the United States. And we wouldn't be the same country without them. Our ancestors are immigrants from somewhere. I don't even know.
Iran is an enemy of our nation.
Yes.
In the streets, they chant death to America, death to Israel. Iran as a nation is an enemy to our society. Having said that, I've got a very good friend who immigrated here from Iran in the 1970s after the Shah of Iran was deposed. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And that's when the Islamists took over and turned it into a theocracy instead of a kingdom. My friend came over here in the 1970s after the Shah was deposed, and I've talked to him about he can't go home. If he goes home, he will be arrested and murdered. Period, because he fled the country over the takeover. And this man has been here since the 1970s, and he has built businesses. He owns restaurants. He owns gas stations. This man has made a fortune. He came over here with nothing, and he's made a fortune living the American dream. And he's a good guy. And he's my friend.
How many lives has he impacted?
Oh gosh, hundreds, thousands.
Not just his employees,
right?
But
his customers,
right?
And he's very, very nice, very gracious fella. He is the guy that he owns the place, but he'll come out and greet you, and talk to you because you're a customer of his. Really,
I know somebody that worked for him.
Yeah,
and she's
a hard dude to work for.
Yeah, but
because he expects you to do your job.
She also she got a little medical issue with her daughter.
Yeah,
and he went above and beyond what any boss would.
Right,
and made sure that she knew that
she was taken care of.
You're taken care of, and this will be here when you get back.
Yeah,
no worries.
Yeah,
and even floated part of her hours back to her when she didn't earn it.
Yeah,
because that's like I said, what kind of impact has that man made in this country?
Yeah.
And
that's legal immigration.
That's legal. But I'm telling you.
By the way, he's a gun owner.
We're watching a takeover, man.
Yeah, we are.
And it's not just we see all this stuff with the election interference. It's not just Democrats interfering with Republican elections.
No,
it's foreigners. It's not beyond that. Here's my next point here. Do you know who Dean Phillips is?
No. See?
And you're up on the news. You watch even Newsmax and stuff.
Yeah.
He is a Democratic presidential candidates.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's been trying to get on all these tickets.
Right.
And they will not
allow him.
He is very popular in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Well,
John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, he had to leave the Democrat Party just to get any attention.
They wouldn't even allow him protection.
Right. Secret Service
declined him, repeatedly declined him.
Knowing his family history.
Yeah. And so this guy, Dean Phillips, he was in town and he was trying to get on this Democratic Party, anything on him. Any of the ballots or on a debate stage, they're not having those.
Yeah.
And I mean,
because they already have their candidate.
Right. Well, I have a debate.
Yeah.
They already have their candidate. And we've already chosen. Not voted, chosen. And so he goes to a Trump rally. He said, I've never been to one. He said, I just got to know. He said, I looked over. He said, there was a line from here to tomorrow. He said, so I go over and look. He said, and I met 50 to 100 people. He said, everybody was like nice and kind. And
did you see the videos of that black dude that went to one thing and he was going to get lynched?
Yeah. And shook my hand. He said, and there was people of all kinds.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was like the American melting pot.
Yeah.
He's
going to come out and turn out to be a Trump supporter. Isn't
he? Yeah. It's just an absolute takeover.
Yeah.
And then here, what happened yesterday, the day before yesterday? They lowered Trump's fine or whatever. You know, the whole case is a sham.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not saying that because I'm a genius.
No. And you're not saying it because you're a Trump fan.
Or a lawyer.
Yeah.
Or any of the above. But I've watched a whole lot of stuff that covered it. And the ones that are anti-Trump, their take on everything is, well, he's been charged.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder what the number would be with how many people in this country have been charged with something and then either charges dropped or found innocent.
Right.
And they were legitimately innocent. Right.
In my line of work, I come across a lot of them.
How many people? So just that's all they have, though. The ones that are anti-Trump, that's all they have. Well, he's been charged.
Yeah, he's been indicted 95 times.
He's been charged.
That's because y'all are playing with the system.
Right.
Let's be honest.
The whole thing about the fraud case.
Yeah.
Who would be the victim?
All right, hang on a second. Before we get into that, let's just go through this. Letitia James, running for office, said on video,
she's going to take him down,
that she is going to be a, quote, pain in his ass. Forgive me for my language. That's what she said.
Trump's going down. He's illegitimate.
Well, and the girl that's filming the selfie video says, are you going to go after Donald Trump for us? Oh, I'm going to go after him. That was her campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she's got that. Somehow she found this Judge Engeron. This dude.
He looks like he ought to be on a Harry Potter movie.
He looks like he should be in a mental institution.
Or cast of the Crypt Keeper.
Something, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, he looks like, I wish I could quote Harry Potter.
He declared Donald Trump guilty before the trial.
Well, yeah, way before.
Way before.
And then,
and then he's the one that in his financial genius said that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million.
Right.
When there was an empty lot half the size of it down the road that sold for over $100 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing is just crap.
And then they brought the prosecutor brought the bank in.
Yeah. And the bank said, we love Trump. We'll loan him again.
He paid. They have negotiations. You're the banker. I'm the guy that wants the money. I say, hey, I got this house. You say, well, what's the house worth? I say, it's worth $150,000. All I want to borrow is $50,000. You're like, well, I like you, Lloyd, but let me have my guy.
Yeah,
go look at
your house.
So a representative of your company comes out, looks at the house, and says, "Hey, man,
it's only worth $120."
Yeah,
you know, inflated that a little bit,
fudging it, and I'm like, "Oh, come on, dude! You saw the sinks, you saw the tile work.
Yeah,
you're not appreciating the craftsmanship,
right?
Come on." He's like, "Okay, we'll make it work. We'll value it at $130."
Yeah.
All right, I can live with that.
Yeah.
So we negotiate that.
Yeah.
Now, based on that, you're going to loan me money.
And then you pay it back, and the bank is like, hey, if you ever need anything else, let us know.
There you go.
Because that's where we're at.
Down the road, I'm like, hey, man, I come back, and I'm like, hey, you remember me? Like, oh, yeah, you paid on time. You paid all the interest that we charged you.
Right.
Paid on time. Everything was great. You're a good customer.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I need some more money. I made some improvements too. I think it's worth $250,000 now. All right, let's send your guy. The whole thing goes again.
Exactly.
And so the bank testified that that's exactly what went on. You would think.
And that Donald Trump is somebody they would continue to do business.
That's absolutely.
Amazing. So, like you said, where's the victim?
You would think that at that time the judge would be going, why are y'all wasting this court's time? I would. If I'm not a judge, obviously, but I would have been. That would be my next question.
Can you imagine?
Why are we here?
Can you imagine the wall-eyed fit that Letitia James threw yesterday when the appeals court dropped that bond from $450 million to $175 million?
She was trying to
lost her. I guarantee
she was trying to go put locks on his house.
Yeah.
She wanted to put him in the street.
Yeah, she's
trying to embarrass him.
She already said, I look at this one particular building every time I drive by it. I mean, this woman's just insane.
She's going to make affordable housing now, the Trump Towers or something like that. Yeah. I mean, just
she threw an absolute
vindictive and horrible.
Wouldn't you have loved to have been in the office when she got the news?
I'd have loved it. I'd have loved it.
I would just sit there and grin while she's beating her head against the wall. And then you got the Fannie Willis down there in Atlanta.
She had to run off for prosecutor.
Yeah.
She had to fire him.
Well, he resigned.
Well, okay. Yeah, all right. Say what you're going to say.
Right.
And word it however. Y'all had to part ways.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to slice it however you want to slice it, but y'all had to part ways because you're liars.
I wonder if they're still shacking up.
I bet if they are, they're doing it under the cover. Well, I bet they're under the cover anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
The power that they have, man.
It's insane.
Unbelievable.
Well,
this
is a persecution unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've never in my life seen anybody persecuted the way that they're persecuting this man. And the funny thing is, he is so resilient. He is so strong.
It started the moment he announced
on the escalator.
The moment he announced he was going to be
when he came down the escalator.
Before that, Oprah was his friend. Yeah. And a whole bunch of folks was his friend.
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, then all of a sudden he's the
racist. He's Nazi.
He can't be bought. That's the thing, man.
That's it.
He can't be. The Clintons can't control him.
Right. There you go. Nobody can.
That's it. Then,
not even his own people.
You hear about the executive at the Clinton airport? They found him dead.
Oh. Another suicide?
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened. Early in the morning. No. The whistleblower they found dead for Boeing that sold parts.
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
But the Clinton executive, he'd been there for 30 years, and he was shot in an early morning raid from the ATF. He had no criminal record. Yes, it's so shady. They kicked his door in unannounced. They just kicked his door in like early in the morning, and he's a gun owner.
And he responded appropriately.
Yes, and so they fired him, and I don't know if he's still alive. He was clinging to life early yesterday morning, but they shot him in this encounter. They talked about different places that they could have arrested him.
Yeah,
and at different times.
Right,
and it would have made much more sense. He wasn't a fugitive.
Yeah.
He has an office he goes to every day.
Yeah.
They
know what vehicle he drives. They know the route that he goes.
Boeing's a secure area.
Yeah.
Or not Boeing, but the Clinton Airport's a secure area. Once you drive in it, you're there. That would be easy to scoop somebody up.
And he wouldn't be carrying it.
At all.
Yeah.
So many different things that could have been done. And like I said, they interviewed his brother. And his brother was just like,
in shock.
Yeah. And, what could they have possibly been in there after?
In the ATF.
ATF.
You want to talk about an illegitimate agency.
Man, dude.
The ATF should not even exist.
No. My feelings about gun rights or any kind of gun rights or restrictions on my gun rights.
Going back to this guy, I'm going to talk from my experience. Both on duty and on the private side, I've done fugitive recovery. A lot of it. A huge lot of it. I've arrested a whole lot of folk that were fugitives. And one of the things that you always try to do is if you can, you try to get them outside of their home.
Right.
Because inside their home, they have the advantage.
Sure, they're on their home playing field.
They've got their firearms. But
they know the layout. The lights are on or off.
I will sit on your house for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours waiting for you to drive away so that I can snatch you up, as opposed to kicking in your door.
That's right.
If I don't have any other choice. Now, don't get me wrong. I love kicking doors. It was a lot of fun, man. I miss those days.
But I don't know. Put on your tinfoil hat. I just think there's something more sinister.
Oh, yeah.
And anything attached
anything
to Clinton,
that's got a Clinton name attached to it.
Dude, let's talk about Haiti and the cannibals that are taking over Haiti. And you know that
barbecue? That's what they call the dude that's in charge.
Yeah,
barbecue.
Yeah. And there's also a bunch of people from Haiti that are fleeing, that are starting to talk now about all the billions of dollars that the Clinton Foundation was supposed to put into Haiti.
Right.
And it wasn't there.
You know, let's go back a little bit on Haiti. This is interesting. I didn't even know this until all this took place. You realize that the Dominican Republic and Haiti share an island?
I did not.
Yeah.
No.
There's
I did not.
2 nations on one island, and they've got a border.
Okay.
The Dominican Republic is a tourist paradise. Travelers go to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
That is,
I know people that
cruise ships.
Yeah, I know. Misty went to the Dominican Republic.
Haiti, on the other hand, is a hellhole that nobody goes to other than missionaries and mercenaries.
Yeah.
What's the difference? And the difference is Haiti, from its foundation, has been all involved into witchcraft and voodoo and all of this satanic spiritualism.
Yeah.
And the Dominican Republic is not. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is. That is.
It's really.
I wonder why the Clintons tied so much in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you do not want to know them people.
No, you don't want to have anything to do with them.
I mean,
because if you do, you're going to wind up suiciding.
Yeah.
You're going to be an Epstein.
You're going to stab yourself 37 times in the back.
Right.
Worst case of suicide we ever saw.
That's right. Exactly.
But the Boeing guy, like a lot of times when people commit suicide, there's some telltale signs.
Oh, sure.
They do stuff maybe to finalize some things because
Yeah.
they know they're not going to be able to take care of that
Right.
in an hour or whenever they plan this. But you don't.
They might even leave a note.
Yeah. But you don't make plans for the future.
Yeah.
You
I'm not buying an airline ticket for 2 weeks from now.
Right.
If I'm planning to off myself tomorrow.
Yeah. And this guy he had made plans and stuff, just things that are, it's just shady.
Yeah. Well,
It's shady, dude.
You said anything involving the Clintons. I'm going to take it a step further. Man, I hate to say this because it sounds tinfoil hat. Anything involving our federal government.
You're right. No,
shady.
You're right.
It's just shady.
You're right. Our Speaker of the House, how in the world did he sign that $1 or $12 trillion? What? God, I don't even know.
$1.2 trillion that'll take us to the end of the year.
Did you read some of that was in there?
I've seen some of it. Yeah.
We're sending millions and millions and millions, and still not addressing our border.
No.
Still not addressing our American problems. We're still not addressing
and not standing beside our ally in Israel.
I know. And I mean, I watched a video
about that.
Well, our American problems. I watched a video the other day where they had Chicago. They had warming buses.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lined up.
I saw that.
And it said, courtesy of Chicago Transit, Authority.
But homeless Americans are now not allowed to get on them.
The guy filming aimed his camera here. He's standing on a corner.
Yeah.
And there's about a dozen buses lined up on
sitting
both
there
sides.
idling.
Sitting there idling. Our taxpayer dollars.
Because of global warming.
Burning fuel, warming. Well, we got to do global warming because the illegal migrants are cold.
That's right.
And like I said, there's about a dozen or so buses lined up running. And with this courtesy, come warm yourself here.
Yeah.
And he turns and all along the sidewalk, there's all kinds of illegal migrants milling about with coffee and goodies. And I think Starbucks catered it. I don't think Starbucks. I just said that.
Yeah.
And as he pans, he goes down, turns 90 degrees and looks down this way. At the next red light is a bunch of homeless people that are not allowed to come warm. There's American bodies.
Amazing.
They can't warm their American bodies on these American paid for buses. But
how can somebody look at that and go, makes sense to me?
Because it's on purpose.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because it's on purpose. If I'm headed in a direction and I have to get down that way, I can justify nearly anything.
Sure.
I have to get that. I have to. I have no choice.
We've had that conversation talking about when the kimchi hits the fan.
You're right.
When your 4-year-old little girl looks at you with tears in her eyes and says, "Daddy, I'm hungry," you'll justify anything at that point.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. That's the same thing. I want to talk about this. Chuck Schumer standing up on the floor of the Senate, calling for Israel to have a special election to get rid of their elected leader because he doesn't like the way they're prosecuting the war against the people that attacked them and murdered and raped their citizens.
Well, he also run his mouth about the leader of Israel because he didn't want to agree to a
ceasefire.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Lloyd. On October the 6th, there was a ceasefire.
There sure enough was.
It was not Israel that broke the ceasefire.
That's right.
And it was Hamas and their paragliders and their rapists and their murderers and their torturers.
Attackers. That's right.
That broke the ceasefire. And if Israel does not wipe out Hamas completely, it's going to happen again.
Oh, over and over. Over and over.
And by the way, it's going to happen here.
Well, it's what happened in Israel was
I'm getting fired up.
An invading force came across illegally came across the border and attacked the people.
It's going to happen border.
Here. It's going to happen here.
A secured border.
Yeah.
Which we don't have.
We don't even have nothing to pretend like it.
I think we're going to see something that, and who knows, it might be on October 7th.
It may be.
What better way to celebrate your accomplishment on October 7th as a terrorist than to repeat it here?
Well,
we've been saying it's going to has to happen before November.
Something does, whether it's a terrorist attack, but I think that's part of it. I think there's a plan.
I think there's a whole buttload of stuff that's going to happen.
I do too,
all at once.
And I don't, because you can't react to everything.
That's it. That's exactly right.
And the more dysfunctioned we are, the easier it is for the government to say, "I'm here to help."
That's right. That's right. Ronald Reagan said the scariest words on the planet. Listen,
from
folks,
the government. I'm here to help.
Listen carefully, y'all. We've talked about this before, and we're going to bring it up again because we're on this conversation. Look, you are responsible. You are your own first responder.
You are.
When the kimchi hits the fan, you are the only one that's going to be there to protect you and your family, and you had better be prepared.
It's not even when the kimchi hits the fan.
Yeah, it's every day.
If somebody kicks that door in right now, and we both ran to the kitchen and called 911. Clay, the police station is only around the corner from this little house. Well, we live in a town this big.
What's the old saying? When seconds count, the police are minutes away.
And we've got pretty good cops in our little town.
Yeah, we do.
I really like them. And our town is this big.
Yeah.
And they're a little more than a stone's throw, but not much.
Yeah. And
if we ran in the kitchen and called 911, by the time they showed up with their best effort, they would recover 2 dead bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're just.
But I'm talking specifically about what we're talking about. Yeah. When whatever it is happens, years ago, decades ago, George Carlin talked about this. And he said, if there's a calamitous event that takes place in the United States of America, you can't count on the police and the military because they're going to be at home protecting their families.
That's right.
And the fact is, y'all, you got no one to count on other than yourself and your small circle. And you had better be prepared. And by prepared, I don't just mean guns and ammo.
No, you
need to have food. You need to have water. You need to have a way to batten down the hatches.
A way to acquire more of those things.
Yeah.
Because water and food they don't last forever.
No.
And we all know that.
But as we've talked about,
grocery stores will not be open.
No. And as we've talked about before, when this catastrophic event takes place, within the first couple of weeks, the vast majority of our fellow citizens will not be around anymore.
I have seen different studies or guys talking about it. It can't really be a study because it didn't happen.
CIA did a lot of
they run scenarios.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere from the first 30 days to the first 90 days, 90% of the population will die. Yeah.
So if you've got 30 to 90 days worth of food stored and 30 to 90 days worth of water stored.
Yeah.
And
you can hold off the wolves.
Yeah. And the ability to defend that.
Yeah.
You got a leg up.
You're
doing good.
You got a chance.
You're doing good.
Because it's that first initial, oh my God, wave. But you're talking about the first responders, the police and the sheriff's department that are at home. What's going to show up is not them.
No.
It's going to be a foreign soldier that's going to show up with a UN helmet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to be there to help.
Yeah.
And organize you and show you to your way to your camp.
Yeah, to the re-education facility.
Where you'll be taken care of medically and emotionally, physically.
Right.
They'll help you right out.
That's right.
And if you'll just come with us.
Lay down your firearms.
Yeah, lay down your guns.
Get on the cattle cars.
Because nobody can have guns in that facility. Right. So just lay your guns down. Come with us. It'll be a lot easier.
Yeah. Just get on the cattle cars.
And just comply.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want nothing bad to happen to your children.
And by God, the test balloon of 2020 demonstrated the willingness of the American people to just comply, didn't it?
People like me and you were demonized.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're wondering why me and you aren't just rolled over dead.
Yeah, we should be dead by now.
Deader than the rail.
Yeah.
According to the science.
Yeah, we didn't wear the face diapers. We didn't get the jab. We didn't stay home.
I didn't do any of the protocol BS that the government tried to feed me.
No.
None of it.
And, it's funny. We never shut down the church.
I never got real sick. I think I got a cold. I got a cold for a couple days. It lasted 2 days, but I didn't miss work.
You got super sick.
I got the stomach bug.
No. I'm talking about when we talked about this, we figured you probably had COVID before it was even announced. Do you remember that?
I remember,
right before the announcement of COVID, you were down for 3 or 4 days hard. It was bad.
I remember being sick, like I had the flu.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I'd get a phone call from, I think I'm dying. It was bad.
I remember in that since 2020, I caught a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Thought I was dying then too.
Well,
how men
that's how we are. Yeah. Man. I laugh about that all the time. I get the sniffles and I'm like a 4-year-old little girl that wants her mommy. I get injured and I brag about it. I can handle an injury.
Yeah.
I get shot. It's like, hey, check this out. But I get the sniffles. I'm just,
you run a fever.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I had to apologize to Brandy not too long ago, and I just kind of felt bad one morning.
Yeah.
I say one morning, that it might have been one evening. Anyway, I woke up and I just kind of felt bad and I was snappy. I was in a pissy mood and just, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I said, man, she's like, I already know.
That's funny. That's funny. Your girl knows you, man.
Mm-hmm.
She is, she's got a birthday coming up. How old is she going to be?
49.
49 years old.
Yep.
You cradle robber.
Had to get me a young one to keep up with me.
Yeah. Or to take care of you in your old age.
Not the way it's turned out, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Lloyd doesn't have home health care. He just married one.
That's right.
But like you said, you kind of traded roles there. I'm so excited, looking forward to tomorrow evening. And
yes.
This
evening. Not tomorrow evening.
This evening. Goodness.
This
tomorrow
evening.
evening at church.
And she don't know nothing about it, man.
No, I'm telling you, man.
She don't know nothing. I had to sneak off yesterday and go up and make reservations and take care of that.
Right.
And I told that little girl on the phone, I said, I'm going to try to get up there today. I said, well, let me tell you what I'm working with.
Yeah.
I said, I'm trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to do this. My wife don't know. I said, I don't use my power for evil. You know how it is to be sneaky? But I was able to sneak away, make some excuse. Sneak away. You know what I did? I just pulled the alpha male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, woman.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
I just got dressed and put my boots on, grabbed my hat, I got to the front door, turned to look to her. I said, hey, I got an errand to run. I'll be right back.
There you go.
And she's like, okay, you know, she didn't question that.
Right.
She, you know, don't question. We don't question each other.
Right.
But I thought, wow, that was too easy. But after I made the reservations, I went and got her a yummy taco salad for lunch, and that's what my errand was.
That's right.
That
See, it worked out perfectly, man.
My cover.
Perfect.
I told that little girl, I said, now y'all got to sell me a taco salad.
Right.
And she said, why? I said, that's my cover. That's why I left the house. That girl was like, you're good. You're good.
Yep,
said, yeah, it's a good thing I don't use it for evil.
That's right. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Well,
I'm sure there's 42 different things that we didn't talk about.
Oh, gosh, a whole pile of stuff. But we are at that hour mark. And
we are right at it.
I'm telling you.
Time flies.
I've got to go to work, and you need to.
I got to go get another tire fixed.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I picked up a stupid nail. They're doing that roof, and I didn't even drive close to the building or in the back, man. I drove in the parking lot and picked up a roof, and that's in my tire.
I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's not like 50-50 or two different locations. Did you?
I didn't run
the other one.
The other one,
yeah.
And all of them are either them quarter head drive screws, which is what they're using out there with all the venting,
right,
and all them air handlers. And
I wonder who else. How many other people are having the same problem?
Well, if they're all they're doing is sitting in one spot and parked, they're not. None of them are.
Right. Right. Well, I'm talking about even employees out there.
I don't know, man.
Because
I don't know, but I'm
gonna go see Alan.
I'm gonna go see Alan, and then I'm gonna absolutely eliminate my driving around out there.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've done in last night, I didn't even drive all the way to back last night. Yes, I did. I made one trip all the way to the back, and then I parked up front, and then the other trips I'd launched the drone.
Right.
Just fly it over top of the building.
Sure.
Look around and come back. But I did make that one trip.
Huh. Goodness, man.
And picked up a nail. Heard it this morning.
It's always the same tire?
No. It picks a new tire all the time.
You got 4 to choose from, so.
I've spent enough
money. Good thing you don't drive a dually.
I spent enough money on flats to buy a new tire.
Yeah.
In the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I've spent enough money on flats to buy a new tire.
And I'm sure you're probably getting a friends and family discount too.
Well, it's $20 every time they don't plug it.
Yeah.
They take the tire off and they put a real patch on
they grind it, they patch it.
They put a real patch that's not going anywhere.
Right.
It'll outlast the tire. I wouldn't have a plug. On the side of the road, you can plug it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get to the tire shop, I want that plug yanked out and the patch put on.
Right.
But yeah, another $20.
Oh man.
Well, I hate it, but I praise God that I have the money right here to go spend and
no doubt.
Knock it out.
No doubt. You know, and that's the thing, man. You know, every time something comes up that costs a wad of money, it's like your first reaction is, oh, crap. But then you just got to stop and say, Lord, thank you. Thank you that I'm in a position that I can do this. You know, I got pulled over coming into Wichita Falls out of Vernon.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. Got pulled over. And for the first time in years, the cop gave me a ticket. Normally, I get a warning. This cop gave me a ticket. I was like, all right, well, you know what? I did it, you know.
Yeah.
77 and a 60. Probably why he gave me a ticket. I wasn't doing 65 and a 60. I was doing 77 and a 60. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get to work. You know, I was coming out of Electra. Anyway, I went up to the municipal court and took my ticket up there, and she punched in the buttons. And $302.
Yikes!
Yeah,
yikes!
And I went, okay. Pulled out my wallet. 1, 2, 3.
Yikes!
And I walked out of there thinking, "Thank you, God."
Yeah,
because I had it and I could pay it. She says, "Do you want to make payments?" I was like, "No, I want to get it over with."
Yeah.
And by the way, I shocked her. She said, "Do you want to plead guilty or no contest?" I said, "Guilty. I did it."
Yeah, I'm caught red-handed.
Yeah. And no sense. You know, so now I'm a convicted misdemeanor. But, you know, I thank God that I was able to pay $302 for that ticket.
And you had a truck I thank God your truck was able to go that fast.
Oh, watch yourself. And here's the thing. I walked out of there, Lloyd.
Was it downhill?
I walked out of there and went on with my life, and I've never missed that $302.
No, it didn't hurt you.
I never missed it.
No.
You know, I didn't have to skip a meal because of it.
Nope.
I didn't have to go to my landlord and say, "I'm sorry, I can't pay the rent this month."
Lights are still on.
Yeah. Amazing.
You got fuel in your truck.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, and that's it right there. Just thank you, God. I'm going to go pay Alan. Well, not pay Alan, the guy he works for.
Yeah.
I'm going to help one of our local shops around here. I'm keeping them open, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cut up and laugh with him for a little while.
Right.
We're going to swap lies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go about my ways and be no worse for the wear.
Never miss it. Yeah.
You know, and I remember plenty of times that $20 was
all the
money in the world, man.
Well, I'm telling you.
Might as well have been.
100%, man.
Might as well have
been. You know, there's this old hymn says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done.
Yes.
We need to live that.
Oh, dude, yes.
And, you know, this is...
I truly think I do. I really do. I really truly think I do.
I know you do.
You know, I was over talking to my mother-in-law the other day. She thanked me for helping her out. And I told her, I said, I can't...
Did you give her that new gift?
Yeah.
What'd she think of that?
Oh, she loved it. She loved it. But I told her I can't thank her enough. And I can't thank God enough.
Yeah.
I said, God put me and your son together
for a reason.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
I said, and look at where we're at now. Who would have ever thought
everything that's transpired since then to now has led to where you are.
Yeah, and you can look back at the trail and see the purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
And see the growth.
You see God's fingerprints
all over it. And
it.
see the growth of both me, my wife, and our whole family.
Yeah.
You know,
just phenomenal.
Yeah, I said, so, you know, I got lots of thanks. I said,
I'm telling you.
Every day I look at that woman and I think.
Well, and, you know, it's like, you know, we opened this up and I was reminiscing about Aunt Stell jumping in the passenger seat of that minivan with me. So grateful for that.
You know, Sally kind of got on to me a little bit, a little goodie. Me and Brandy.
Oh, yeah?
She kind of was like.
She'll get over it.
Yeah, and I told her, she's like, well, that might have cost something. I said, look. I said, first off, I promise you, if I was sitting in your spot and you were sitting in mine and I was in need, I would only need for about an hour.
Yeah.
And you'd be, you would do the same. You'd be doing the same thing. I said, I remember 24, 25 years ago. I said, I went through a pretty bad divorce and moved in a little dinky house, and I was heating it with a space heater about that big.
Oh, yeah.
The whole house.
Yeah.
And so we had to not just wall off a room, but wall off walls in a room.
Yeah.
Make blanket walls in a room because it was you couldn't cool it. It would freeze to death. And I said, and my best friend, your son, unbeknownst to me, told you about it. I said, the very next day when I came to work, there was a gas heater in my little area waiting on me that you had went over to Hayes Home and Auto and picked up because I was in need.
Yep.
And that's when I told you that I would pay you back, you know, a little out of my paycheck. Couldn't afford a lot.
Right.
I'd pay you a little out of my paycheck. You told me you would fire me. And I said,
okay.
And then you got on to me. I said, and then I tried to say something. I said, and my buddy, he was just pulling me by the shirt saying, walk away, dude. Walk away. I know her. Walk away. Walk away. And I said, and I did. I walked away. And I said, so I say to you there, lady, walk away.
That's right. That's right. Boy, that probably shut her up, didn't it?
Well, you know, she didn't remember it either. She didn't.
Really?
Yeah, she didn't remember that.
Something?
Yeah, she's like, I don't remember. She said, I really don't remember that. I said, I do.
And
I do.
You'll never forget it.
I remember that.
That's right.
And I said, you know, and I said, now every day, I said, I get the absolute privilege to spend every day with your daughter.
That's right. That's right. And repaying the favor to her personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Folks, be grateful for what you've got, man. And
take time to be kind.
That's it. That's
it. It's just, you know, I say that every time.
I know.
And it's so cliche, but it's so easy.
I'm glad you said it.
And when I say be kind, you don't have to go buy somebody something.
No.
Smile at somebody.
Joke with the kid at the counter at the fast food joint.
Yeah.
You know? Compliment somebody.
The person that's wheeling your buggy out at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Tell them you appreciate what they're doing.
Right.
Tell them, man, I thank you. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah. Exactly. Compliment somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
Just smile.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't look like you've been baptized in pickle juice.
There you go.
Smile at somebody. And, you know, be open to somebody smiling back.
That's right. That's right. Folks, we appreciate y'all as always. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, I hope that we have been a blessing to you. We're going to sign off, and Lord willing, we will see you next week.